Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jamber. Today, it's going to be all NBA. The first four segments, we're talking about the Pistons Knicks game in one, Denver LA in the second one. The NBA anonymous player poll came out. I want to talk about that. I think that's, it's pretty important. We'll preview the game for tonight, and then we're going to end off in the NFL with a quick little mock draft, just the top 5-6 teams. See who takes who. Yeah. Before we get to any of that, though, tips and donations. Tips and donations are always greatly appreciated. By tipping and donating, it shows that you guys care about the content that we put out, and we put our all into these videos. So if you do want to tip or donate and you're in the live stream, feel free to do so with the super chat and sticker donation feature. And if you're not in the live stream and you want to tip or donate, the two links in the bio and description are the best way to do that. Even if you're not in the live stream and you want to leave a comment, I'll see that as soon as you post it in the comment section or the live stream comment section. So I'll get to that as soon as I see it or as soon as I get the time to talk about it. And I love being able to talk to you guys. It's my job, so I'm doing what I do. So please feel free to leave a comment and I'll respond to that as soon as I see it. But like I said, if you do want to tip or donate and you're in the live stream, feel free to do that with the super chat and sticker donation feature. And if you're not in the live stream, the two links in the bio and in the description are the best way to do that. With that being said, let's get into the content for today, shall we? First segment I want to talk about. The Detroit Pistons versus the New York Knicks. The battle of the 3 and the 6, Game 2 in Madison Square Garden did not disappoint. So far, this series has been nothing short of amazing. Both these games have been very close. Both these games have just been a really good watch, a really fun watch, and I've always, I've watched every minute. And at no point throughout the series have I said, this is really boring, I want to turn this off. I love it. This whole series so far, you got guys like Cade Cunningham, the 2 games he's played so far in the series, playing phenomenal. You got, Jalen Brunson for the Knicks. I mean, these 2 guards, both these all-star players playing on one side of the ball against each other, it's just so cool to see. These guys play such different styles. It's insane. Like for Jalen Brunson, for example, I really don't enjoy. I don't like the way he plays recently. He's been foul baiting a lot, and it's very obvious, and it's very boring to watch. Last night you saw a lot in the fourth quarter and third quarter. He would pull up for a 3, someone would jump up. Let's say he's getting guarded by Tim Hardaway or Asar Thompson. He's jumping, and he stops his jumper to literally just jump into them and throw it up and draw the foul. That's just not fun basketball to watch. I really don't enjoy watching that, and I don't enjoy the way he's playing. Yeah, he had 37 points, but it was the least unfun 37 points I think I've ever seen in my life. I think it was just a very dull way to play the game, and I don't think it's the right way to play. I think foul baiting should be highly sought after. No, it shouldn't be allowed. They need to put rules in place to make sure they can't just jump into these guys for fouls. I just think it's really stupid. Let's go over a quick box score, a little recap of the game. Through the points. I'm going to keep putting my notebook down so it doesn't hurt you guys' ears. Cade, 33, 12, and 3. Cade played so good last night. He was scoring. He was taking it to the lane a lot. He hit a few pull-up threes that were really clutch to the Pistons. He had a lot of good shots towards the end of the game. He was shooting better, and 33 points, 12 rebounds. He's a big guard, and he's a guard that really likes to get nasty in the paint. He likes to, get active. He likes to make noise. And Cade Cunningham last night with his 12 rebounds proved that against a very big New York Knicks team, players who are a lot bigger. Karl Anthony Towns. Josh Hart as well. Josh Hart's a pretty big guard as well. But, not only him, Mikal Bridges. OG Anunoby. They got big guys. And the New York Knicks are a big team. And Cade Cunningham liked to get in the middle of it and get his rebounds. I like that. Jalen Duren, a really consistent double-double player. 12 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. His 12 points, he's all of his points are coming from dunks. It's literally half of 3 of Cade's assists. I'm pretty sure out of the 3, I'm pretty sure 2 of them were just from throwing alley-oops to Duren, and it works. Duren, he's just so physically just an athlete. He's just an athlete, straight up. And It just shows. The way he can get off the ground at his size and so fast and so like he gets such good height on his jump. He's like a freak of nature, and his 13 rebounds also prove that. He's only 21 years old, and he is so strong. He's very physical. He's a very good athlete. Like I said, he can jump off the ground fast, high, and he just gets up in the air. And he's a really good basketball player. And I think Jalen Durham in the Eastern Conference I think he's a top 5 center. In the playoffs, I think he's I'll say like a top 3 center. I think he's a top 3 center in the East. But overall in the Eastern Conference, I mean, yeah, like he's still a top 3. In the league, definitely like a top 7. But he's a really good center. Granted, he's so young and he still has a lot to learn. But even at his young age, he's still proven to be one of the best players on this young Pistons team. Tobias Harris, a good vet pickup for the Pistons this season. Even though they drafted him a few years ago or a little while ago, and they brought him back. Great pickup. Tobias Harris, 15 points, 13 boards, 1 assist. The stats don't show how good of a defensive player Tobias Harris is as well. 15 points, very calm. Nothing. Like 15 points is a good amount. 13 boards for a guard. That's like him and Cade. They're both decently big guards who are able to shoot the ball very effectively and also get boards. I love seeing that. Tobias was playing very, very tough defense on Karl Anthony Towns last night, and that's why he only ended up having 10 points. Tobias is playing him very tight. He was also playing Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart very tight. They both also, Bridges had like 20, but Josh Hart only had 10. Tobias Harris is a very, very underrated defender. Sorry, I'm just gonna move this. I don't want this hurting your guys' ears. I'm sorry, I gotta move this. I'm just gonna hold it for now. But I mean, Tobias Harris is just an underrated defender. He plays very hard-nosed, face-to-face defense. He likes to face guard. He likes to go for a lot of steals. And if you're going for a dunk, best believe he's going up with you. I mean, he's looking to block you. Same with Isaiah Stewart. But they both play very similar. But Tobias Harris for a guard really likes to, just get in the paint, get boards, and he does it very well. Dennis Schroeder off the bench. Obviously, he's not a starter for the Pistons most of the time. But even when he comes off the bench, he has a very big impact. 20 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Dennis Schroeder is one of the most valuable players that the Pistons were able to secure in this, free agency, and it's in the trade deadline. And 20 points, especially with that 3-pointer with a minute left in the fourth quarter, it was phenomenal. They were tie game, 94s on the board, and Dennis Schroeder, who is statistically known not a very good 3-point shooter, has an open look. He takes it, hits a takeaway 3. They're up 97-94, and you just hear Madison Square Garden just all the momentum, all the energy just whisked away. It just went away, and obviously, I'm a Pistons fan, so obviously that was amazing to see. I was at the gym when that happened. I had it on my phone while I was mid-set, and I just hear Dennis Schroeder with the 3, and you can hear the announcers going crazy. You hear the swoosh. I mean, it was an amazing shot. It was it was a left arc, just pulls up, bang. And seeing a Dennis Schroeder shot going is always very good to see because it shows that he's a great player. He's not obviously the best shooter in the world, but he's a very good playmaker. You see him a lot, even though he's only had 3 assists, but he was doing a lot with the ball. He was driving and kicking it out a lot, creating open looks. And the Pistons weren't shooting the best last night. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 0 points last night. He went 1 for 6 from 3, and about 4 of those passes to him were from Schroeder driving to the lane, kicking out for him. It was Dennis Schroeder was a phenomenal pickup for the Pistons, and he's still proving why he's so good and so, valuable to this team. Take it over to the New York side. Like I was saying earlier, Jalen Brunson, 37, 3 and 7. The most boring, basically 40 bomb I've ever seen in my life. His foul baiting just isn't cutting it for me. Yeah, everybody foul baits, but he was doing it last night. If you go back, watch the game, watch the highlights, it is just so boring to watch him just go for a 3 and intentionally just jump into anybody guarding him and he draws the foul. And he was getting mad towards the end of the game that the refs weren't calling it, which were the right calls, because you could see it was obviously him jumping into it, causing contact, and that's not a foul. That's an offensive foul. They just weren't calling it, and he was getting pissed off. And I just thought, that was the right thing for the refs to do, is to not call it. He's still at 37, and he was the reason the Knicks were in that game because not a single person on the Knicks had over 20 besides him. But, I know everybody's going to score 20. But, I mean, he was the only one on the team who was really keeping him in that entire game. Mikal Bridges, 19 and 5. 19 boards, 19 points, 5 rebounds. I mean, he's pretty good. I mean, he definitely, when he got traded from Brooklyn to New York, I already thought that was a phenomenal trade. I did too. But he really hasn't shown up this year. Mikal Bridges has not played that good this year, since leaving Brooklyn at least. You would think, he's moved teams like 20 minutes away. You think he wouldn't, de-prove that much. You think he would have improved being on a better team. In fact, he's not. I mean, he just hasn't, played that well all season. Not shooting the best, not getting a lot of boards. Obviously not passing it. As you can see, he had 0 assists. I mean, he's just not playing the best. And, I mean, that's going to hurt your team come playoff time. And then Josh Hart, 10 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. Like I said earlier, him and Tobias play a lot alike. They're both, not the biggest guards in the world, but they like to get active in the paint. And it shows, 7 boards for a guard that's not that big in height, but is a pretty muscular dude. His shooting definitely wasn't on point last night. I'm surprised the Knicks didn't play campaign as much, considering, he had a great night the other night. But the reason the Knicks lost this game, because Thibodeau does not want to use his bench players at all. He plays the same 6-7 guys the entire game, and they're averaging 30 minutes of playing, 40 minutes of playing time. It's insane. Thibs needs to, give his players a rest, because fatigue is obviously in play when watching the Knicks play. They're getting so gassed by mid-fourth quarter. They're letting these teams come away and just take the lead away. So if I'm Thibs, I'm figuring out a new rotation, figure out a way to keep guys in play while, keeping your stars on the floor while giving guys a rest. That's been a problem all season. But this series, like I said, is most likely, if it keeps us up, it's going to Detroit now. The 2 games are split, 1-1. They're going to Detroit. I could see Detroit going 3-1 in the series and going back to New York with a 3-1 lead. But if that doesn't happen, I think it's going to be another 2-2 split, go back to New York and split again to come back to Detroit for Game 7, which I'd be totally fine with. And this series has been amazing, and I hope it only gets better from here. That's all I got for this segment. Next segment, talking about the Denver Nuggets versus Los Angeles Clippers game last night. After that, NBA Anonymous poll. We're going to talk about the games for tonight and then end off with a quick little mock draft for the NFL draft coming up this week. We'll get to all that after this break.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jammer. In the first segment, we talked about the New York Knicks versus Detroit Pistons game last night. This segment, we're talking about the other game that happened last night, Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. After that, we're staying with the NBA, talk about the game for tonight, then we talk about the NBA Anonymous Player poll that just came out, and with a little mock draft for the NFL draft coming up this week. Before we get into any of that, though, let's talk about tips and donations. Tips and donations are always greatly appreciated. By tipping and donating, it means you guys care about the content that we're putting out. So feel free to do that if you really wish. If you do wish to tip and donate, if you're in the live stream, by doing it in the live stream. You can do it with the super chat and sticker feature, or if you're not in the live stream, the 2 links in the bio and in the description. If you do want to leave a comment, just you don't want to ever donate, you want to leave a comment instead, do that. Completely fine. I love being on, like, if you're in the live stream, do it in the live chat. I'll get to that as soon as I see it. And if you're not in the live stream, do it in the comment section of the YouTube video or wherever you're watching, listening from. I'll see that as soon as I can and respond to that. But being able to talk to the fans, people listening, people watching, is always, a good feeling. Like, means you guys care about the content that I'm putting out and you want to talk about it. So feel free to do that. But even if you want to tip or donate, like I said, if you're in the live stream, super chat and sticker is the best way to do that. If you're not in the live stream, the 2 links in the bio and in the description. That being said, let's get to the second topic of the day. The Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. This game was phenomenal. This game was just a nail biter the entire way. Another really close game. Another game that, went down to the final seconds of the game. They were a buzzer beater away. The Denver Nuggets were a buzzer beater away from beating the Clippers, and they almost had it. They fell short, and like I said, like the last series, they tied 1-1. It's tied 1-1, like the Pistons and Knicks tied 1-1, going to LA now. And it's gonna be another 7-game series. It's gonna be just like the Pistons series. It's going to be, hopefully, goes to 7, if not 6. This is by far the best matchup in the playoffs right now. Denver Nuggets versus the Clippers is the best series to watch because they are so evenly matched and because of how good both teams really are. You got guys like Zubac guarding Jokic. Just a phenomenal matchup to see. Zubac is nominated for Most Improved Player, and it shows. He's averaging a double-double. And yeah, he's trying to hold Jokic to, and he's doing pretty well against Jokic. Oh, I'm yawning. Long night last night. Didn't get to bed till pretty late, so sorry about that. But just a great series. You got guys like James Harden versus Jamal Murray. Great matchup, great guard matchup, great shooting matchup. Kawhi Leonard versus Aaron Gordon. That's just 2 vets of the game. It's just this matchup between these 2 teams is so evenly matched in both aspects, and every player is a good matchup. That's just such a fun watch. And this 1-1 tie so far, they've been both the games. First game went to OT. Second game last night, LA wins. Denver almost won on a buzzer beater, but they had 2 shots in the last 5 seconds. They just couldn't fall through. But look at the stats. Let's just talk about the stats real quick. Kawhi Leonard, 39, 3 and 5 with 15. He went 15 for 19 from the field goal, from just range. He only missed 4 shots last night and dropped 39 points. He is still, at his age, it is 33 years old. He is still one of the best shot creators in the league. He loves to do his little post up, spin away, fade away, back. Like, he loves to do his fade. He'll drive, get to about the block, maybe, the second or third stripe in the paint. He'll just hit him with a nice little fadeaway, and it's just guaranteed. I feel like it's a guaranteed shot to go in. Kawhi is so efficient from that little arc that when he shoots it, you really just think, oh, it's going in. And every time he did it last night, it went. I think he maybe missed 1, but he is just so efficient. And Kawhi Leonard, if he, stays healthy, he will lead this. He can lead this Clippers team to a deep Western Conference push, possibly, finals, Western Conference finals, or NBA finals. He's just still so dominant at his age. Even if he's, if he gets injured, which I really hope he doesn't, because, I like the Clippers. I like watching them play. And if he were to get injured, that'd be absolutely horrible for the Clippers. That'd be an absolute brutal beat, because then they would go from Kawhi Leonard to probably like Ben Simmons filling in a spot. Who Ben Simmons has been playing really good for the Clippers recently, but he's nowhere near Kawhi Leonard level. Kawhi's one of an all-time great player. Possibly, I think he's top 25 maybe like top 30 all time. But you can make a debate just for, if he wasn't injured, he could easily be a lot higher. If he never got injured, if he was healthy most of his career, he could be argumentative like top 20, 15 all time. But he's injury prone. He's been injured. It held him back a little bit. But I mean, like I said last night, 39 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. He's still playing phenomenal, even at the age of 33, and there's really no slowing him down besides himself. Ivan Zubac, 16 points, 12 boards, 4 assists, another double-double against Jokic. I mean, there's a reason he was nominated for Most Improved Player. He really has improved a tremendous amount, and it really shows through his gameplay. He's really, for a big, he is very fast, going down court on fast breaks. He's big in the paint. I mean, this Jokic-Zubac matchup is one of the best matchups we will see throughout this entire playoffs, just based on skill, height, everything mixed together. They are the perfect matchup for each other, and it really shows. I mean, they're both just playing phenomenal, and Zubac is just playing phenomenal this entire year. And the fact that he got nominated for Most Improved is a very good thing because he completely deserved it. And, I mean, that's all I can say about him. He's just a great player. Harden, nice little 18, 3, and 7. A little bit of a downgrade from his first game. Went from a double-double in his first game, almost a trip-dub, to a just calm 18, 3, and 7. He had some ball handling trouble last night. Pause. But, I mean, he did have, he played very good besides that. And, his stats show 18, 3, and 7. But he had a better game than that. He was making good plays. He was passing. He was driving and kicking out like Dennis Schroeder. He was driving, passing, and kicking. I mean, he was just doing a lot for his team last night, even if it wasn't, scoring, which is his main thing is scoring. But, you can't always just rely on one guy to score. And, you can rely on Harden to get a nice 20-piece every night or so, 15-plus every night, and he delivers. He's a great player, still at his age as well. A very efficient scorer, and he just helps this Clippers team so much, and that's why I do think they win this game in 7 series. Jokic, go to the Denver Nuggets now, switch it up. Jokic, triple-double. Who would have thought? 26, 12, and 10. I mean, Zubac is playing the best defense he possibly can against Jokic, and it really just shows that Jokic is just this dominant. He didn't get a triple-double his first game. He actually played, poor for Jokic. He had, I believe he had, 27, 10, and, 8 or 9, so 1 rebound or assist away from a triple-double. But still, I mean, dropping a triple-double on one of the best centers in the league is, it's insane. Jokic is still the best center in the NBA, and there's no doubt in my mind. Zubac is, you could say, top 3, maybe top 5, but Jokic is the best. And even, how good Zubac has been playing, you still cannot contain Jokic, the 3-time MVP. Jamal Murray, 23, 2, and 6. He's just so efficient. Jamal Murray is still shooting lights out. He shoots so well. He's just always been, the scorer. He is, if it's not Jokic, it's Murray. And it's shown that. He's having 23 points behind Jokic's 26. Jamal Murray is such a good shooter. He creates space, and he can shoot anywhere beyond the arc. And last night, he hit some very deep threes. He didn't really need to, but he hit some fairly deep threes off the dribble as well. Created space, off dribble, off balance, taking a shot off the foot, off back foot, and they're going in. He's like a Steph Curry archetype, but not great as shooter as Steph Curry. But Jamal Murray is a huge asset for the Denver Nuggets and a great player for them. Michael Porter Jr., nice little double-double. 15, 15, and 1. 15 points, 15 boards, 1 assist. Michael Porter Jr., obviously, his nickname, Michael Never Swing the Rock Porter Jr. He had 1 assist. He obviously doesn't like to swing the rock. But 15 points isn't too bad. Nice little 15 points. 15 rebounds is good for him. Most rebounds on the team last night, actually. And, he's a big guy. He's a pretty big, for a small forward, he's pretty big. And he's a great player. Jokic is, MPJ, Michael Porter Jr. is a great player. He's been a great player for the Nuggets this entire time there. And he's a real asset to the team as well. This whole Denver Nuggets team is really good. But I just still don't believe they're as good as the Clippers. And that's why I do think they fall to them short in 6 or 7. But this game is going to LA now. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes, where it goes, or, how well the series is going to. I do think, like I said, the Clippers will win in 6 or 7. But only time will tell. We'll have to wait a little while to see if I'm right. That's all I got for this segment. Next segment, we're going to recap the game. We're going to talk about the games tonight. There's 3 games tonight. We'll talk about those 3. After that, NBA Nanos poll just came out. We'll talk about those. And after that, quick little mock draft for the NFL draft coming up. We'll get to that after the break.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jammer. Sorry, I just had some nerd gummy clusters during that break. So good. I had to finish doing those. So good. First two segments, NBA, recap the games from last night, the Clippers game and the Pistons game. This segment, we'll talk about the games tonight. We got 3 games tonight. We got the Memphis Grizzlies versus Oklahoma City Thunder, Bucks Pacers, and then Timberwolves Lakers. We'll recap. We'll talk about all those. See what's gonna happen. First game of the night at 7 o'clock. Bucks Pacers. 4-5 in the East. Very, very good matchup. It's like the Pacers or the Bucks kryptonite. Like I said that before, and I'll say it again. The Bucks are overall a very good basketball team. Yeah, like Jokic is obviously the heart and soul of the team. But even like without him, the Bucks are still a good team and can still win games. But it's like the Indiana Pacers just have the perfect matchup for the Bucks. Pascal Siakam, I mean, he's on. I'm not sure exactly who he guards, but I mean, he torched the Bucks defense on Saturday when they play, or Sunday when they played, and I mean, or actually it was Saturday, but I mean, Pascal Siakam just knows how to get by the defense. Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, he's a phenomenal point guard. I mean, he's not, a shooting point guard. He's a playmaking point guard, and he makes a lot of plays. He tends to average double-doubles just through assists. I mean, he's a good point guard who makes a lot of plays. The Bucks, though, Damian Lillard supposedly is cleared for tonight. Will he play again tonight? I mean, I'm really not sure. I mean, I tend to think he might come back and play tonight, but I don't know if he will. He was on blood thinners, because he got that blood clot, or the artery, whatever exactly, a blood clot. And he's taking blood thinners. And when you're on those thinners, you don't do anything but sit around and wait for your body to heal up again. So he hasn't been, shooting around, lifting, staying in shape. Well, he probably was staying in shape some way or another. But, I mean, the way that I'm not sure he, is ready to play tonight. Yeah, he's cleared, but will he play? I doubt it. Because people kind of, Damian Lillard is one of the best three-point shooters of all time. But I feel like he just hasn't shot that well for the Bucks this year in general. And that's just my opinion from what I've seen. And I'm not sure, him coming off an injury, such a serious injury, such as a blood clot, it's going to help his case at all. I mean, I feel like with him coming off injury, he might play a lot worse. If he even does play, will he play worse? Will he play just no minutes, like very little minutes? I mean, what are they going to do with him? Because I feel like they won't put him into, a starting role tonight with him not playing for the past 3 months or so, 2.5 months. I'm not exactly sure how long he was out for. But, I mean, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, like I said, Pacers and Bucks are always, they played each other last year. That series was great. This series will be great as well. Yeah, the Pacers won game 1, but will they win game 2? I mean, I'm not sure. The Bucks were in that game. Most of that time that they were playing, the Bucks were in the game with them, and they kept it close until the end when they crept away from the Bucks. They won 117-90. That's a 27-point win. I mean, they were managed to escape them. But when they're not making like a push like that, they keep it close. The Bucks tend to keep it very close. So the Pacers are gonna probably win this game tonight. I think they'll win the series. But the Bucks are going to give them a very good run for their money. And I'm excited to see, how that plays out. If Dame plays, we'll have to wait and see. But if he does play, I think he will have an impact on the game, the overall outcome, and overall outcome of the series as well. Second game tonight, we got the Grizzlies and the Thunder. This game, I feel like the series really doesn't need to be talked about at all. I mean, I think we know after that first game, after they won by 51 points or exactly how much it was. I think we all can just come to a consensus decision and say Thunder in 4. I really don't think there's much to say. I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies are just clearly not built to be playing a team of the caliber of a team as the OKC Thunder. They're just not built. I mean, they're not a good playoff team. The past few years they've made it, but they haven't done much with the playoff success that they had. They have no success the past few years. They make it, lose first round. If they don't lose first round, they make it to the second round, the semis, and lose there. They really don't have a lot of playoff success, and that's what they fired their head coach. But even firing him was just still an interesting decision that they made. He was the only coach they had, had playoff experience, and he could have helped them maybe, not lose by 50 points the first game. Better rotations, better lineups, but who knows? He's not there anymore. But it's just insane that they still fired him. But I just don't think the series really needs to be talked about at all. I mean, they're going to most likely, if you lose by 50 points in the first game of the series, that sets a tone. That sets a very, very clear tone that we're gonna manhandle you guys. We're going to play and we're going to win. And obviously they have SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Hartenstein, both Jalen Williams, and the other Jalen Williams spelled differently, which I find pretty funny. I mean, that team is just so loaded and so, they just played great this entire year. And the Memphis Grizzlies barely squeaked by. They lost to the Warriors and barely. Actually, no, they did beat the Mavs pretty good, but they just don't. I mean, they're just not that good of a team to be playing the Thunder. Zach Edey if you saw the first game, he was getting manhandled. Ja Morant dropped 11 points. You know it's bad when you're Marvin Bagley the third or junior or 28. Marvin Bagley, who was coming off the bench, dropped 19 points. Granted, a lot of them are trash time points, garbage time, but still, when you have Marvin Bagley scoring the most points in your team, you gotta figure something out. You gotta get better rotations going. You need Desmond Bane. You need him to be shooting well. Jaren Jackson Jr. needs to do what he does best, play some good defense. He's not he's a good scorer, but you need him to play some lockdown defense in case you guys even want to win the series. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this series goes. But as of right now, with that first win, I'm just gonna confidently say Thunder in 4. The Grizzlies are just not ready for this at all, and that's about it for that game at least. Final game tonight, Timberwolves Lakers. This honestly is a huge game for the Lakers. I mean, the first game, the Timberwolves set the tone, shooting 50% from the 3-point field. I mean, that's just a huge benefit for the Timberwolves. I mean, when you're shooting 50% from the field, you're going to win the game, and they did. Their big Rudy Gobert was manhandling Jackson Hayes. I mean, it really wasn't close. The Lakers really need a game to get their confidence back. They need a game to, not only change locations, but, they just need a game to keep the series good. I think if the Timberwolves win this game, they win the game. They win the series in 5. And I do want to see this Luka. I want to see him succeed. I want to see him get traded midseason from the team that took him to the finals last year and possibly make it back to the finals. Because honestly, a Lakers-Boston Celtics finals would be amazing to see, and I do want to see that. So I want to see the Lakers at least make a push, and I think they absolutely can beat the Timberwolves. But Anthony Edwards is still just one of the best players in the NBA. He's still so young. He's so fast, so agile, can score on any level he needs to, any level he wants to. And if he misses, well, you got Rudy Gobert in the paint to get boards and, occasionally put up a shot or two. But Rudy Gobert likes to get his rebound and pass it back out. But, the Timberwolves are such a well-rounded team. You got DiVincenzo, Randall, Gobert, Naz Reid, Ant-Man. That team is so well-rounded that, oops, sorry about that. They're well, and the Lakers still are too. You You got Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves. I mean, Dalton Connect. I mean, their team is a good team. Don't get me wrong, but I just think the Timberwolves are just a better, more overall balanced team than the Lakers. So, but I do hope the Lakers win this game, and I think they will. I think they got, the taste of the Timberwolves. They maybe, they were playing good. I mean, Luka dropped 40 points, but you need other guys to step up and also contribute. You need Austin Reeves to step up, get some points on the board. LeBron, obviously, you need him to step up and, put up 20-plus points to help push this team through. But it's going to be a great series as well. This is a very good series. I'm excited to see how they do. I think the Lakers win the night, keep the series tied 1-1. But we'll have to wait and see after the game to see if I'm right. But hopefully I am right. That's all I got for this segment. Next segment, ending the NBA, finally. We're going to talk about the NBA Anonymous Player Poll. Just came out today. Or was it last? It was today. Talk about that. End it off. We'll do a little mock draft for the NFL draft coming up this week. We'll get to all that after the break.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Oh, that was really weird. My OBS is closed on itself. That was really weird. Well, welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jamber. First three segments were NBA. Talk about the New York Pistons game from last night, the Clippers Denver game from last night, and a preview of the games for tonight. This segment, we're talking about the NBA player poll. The anonymous NBA player poll was released today, and there's always a lot to talk about when that comes out. Talk about the MVP. This is all from players in the league, by the way. I mean, every player votes and vote for who's their MVP, who's the best team, worst team, head coach, worst head coach, all that stuff. So that came out today, and I feel like it's a good time to talk about it. It just came out, so let's talk about it. So first thing that came up on the list was the MVP. The top three candidates were obviously Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jokic. So the players, they voted very heavily favored into SGA. According to the stat, 56.1 of the out of the 155 voters, 56.1% voted for SGA, 37.4 voted for Jokic, and 1.9 for Giannis. And then Donovan Mitchell and LeBron James, 1.9 and 1.3. Do I agree with that? I do agree. Yeah, obviously Jokic and Shai should be the top two players. They're the top best two players in the league. I do think overall, though, as a player, I do think Jokic is better than SGA. I think he just does a lot more for his team. I think he, you can rely on him to have a better game than SGA, and he does. But SGA has also led the Thunder to the first seed in the Western Conference, possibly the most competitive Western Conference we've had in a while. So, honestly, do I agree with the vote? It could go both ways. But I think SGA, it was either between him and Jokic, and he had the win, and he had obviously 56% of the voters in his favor. So, yeah, I agree with it. Obviously, could have had Jokic, maybe a few more votes for him or less for SGA. But overall, that's the right vote to have. SGA has led his team to the number one seed in the Western Conference, the most competitive Western Conference we have seen in a while. And I think that's a very important statistic for him to have. Second, out of 137 players, they had the question, which team other than your own will win the title this season? And out of all that, 57% of the players who voted said the Boston Celtics. And I completely agree with that. I think the Boston Celtics are looking to go back-to-back. And I've been saying this for a while. I think they will go back-to-back because they have a chip on their shoulder that they want to, beat the fraud allegations. They want to beat the allegations that since they had an easy Eastern Conference sweep last year, since the Eastern wasn't nearly as strong as the West, that was a cakewalk for them. And then I just think that's a bad, I'm not a huge Boston Celtics fan. I'm not going out of my way to, support them. But I think that narrative is very stupid. Any team in the playoffs deserves to be in the playoffs. And, okay, they beat the Hawks in 4, or whoever they played for. Yeah, Hawks in 4. The Hawks aren't a good playoff team. The Eastern Conference, that was their first round. They made their way through the playoffs. They sweeping the Pacers. They sweep the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. The teams that made it deserve to be there. And they deserve to be. They beat the Mavericks in, 6, 5? I forgot what it was. But they deserved it. They had the best team. They had, Tatum, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis. That team was just so well balanced, and they were the best overall team in the NBA. I think that's a completely fair take to say they will go back to back. OKC Thunder was second place votes with 17%. They're a good team. They're just nowhere near as good as Boston. I just think, like I said, I completely agree with the fact that Celtics will go back to back. And yeah, that's just all I can say about that. The next topic was who will be the face of the league in 5 years. And 54% of the players said Victor Wembanyama. I completely agree with that as well. Anthony Edwards was second with only 13% of the voters. And SGA 10, and then a bunch of guys who were like 10% or lower. Wemby is 100%. He could be realistically, if he stayed healthy, I think he could be the face of the NBA right now. But he was the face of the NBA come draft time 2 years ago when he got drafted. He was the most well sought after prospect since LeBron. And I think that's very hard. It's not easy for someone to, become that well sought after. And he was able to do it. And Victor Wembanyama in 5 years, 100% will be the face of the league, especially if LeBron retires and there's going to be someone there to fill his shoes. I think it's going to be Wembanyama for sure. If he can stay healthy and keep dominating. And, even with him gone, he helped, when he was healthy, he took the Spurs on a very, very good run. He was a phenomenal player. Even for how tall he is, he's 7'4", 7'5", he's shooting threes consistently, going in, jumpers, obviously he's getting boards. He averaged 13 boards a game. That's insane for someone who was drafted 2 years ago or a year prior. He will be the face of the league in 5 years. Ant-Man, obviously, the 13% of the voters who voted for him. I can see why. If Victor Wembanyama didn't exist, if he wasn't in the league right now, 100% Ant-Man would be the face of the league. But Wemby, it's Wemby. 7'4", 7'5" center out of France. That brings global attention to you when you hear a 7'5" center which is drafted out of France. That's always a huge thing to hear for, an organization. People will come to the NBA. People have come to the USA from France all around the world to come watch Wembanyama. And that's always, that proves, that's a lot of, upside for his future in the NBA and fan bases as well. The next column, vote topic. Who is the most overrated player in the NBA? Out of the 90 players who voted, 14%, who he led the vote with 14%, said Tyrese Halliburton. I don't completely agree with that. The next person in line who had 10% of the votes, I do agree with. It was Rudy Gobert. I think he is the most overrated defensive player ever. He has 4 DPOIs, and it can easily be dimmed down to 2. I just don't think Rudy Gobert, is just that good of a player. He really isn't. He really can't do anything besides get rebounds. And his defense, he's not that good of a defensive player either. He's just so tall that he's able to stick his arms up in the paint and just get blocks. But Tyrese at first, I just kind of don't agree with. He has led this Pacers team through the regular season, through a very tough Eastern Conference, or not, I would say Eastern Central Division Conference. It's a tough division. Then Bucks, Pistons, Cavs. That's a really tough conference. And he was able to, push through, help lead his team. He was the leader of the team. He led the team in, any situation. He was there. make a pass, bang. He's a great playmaker. I said that earlier. He's a great playmaking guard. Shooting, he's not the greatest shooter in the world, but his playmaking makes up for it. He's like a, Magic John. Not really Magic. I'm not comparing him to Magic, but the way he plays is kind of similar to Magic. And overrated. I wouldn't say he's the most overrated, but I could see why people voted for him. But I do think Rudy Gobert is definitely the one to claim that title as the most overrated this year. The most underrated player out of the 136, what was this? 8% of the players, Cade Cunningham out of the Detroit Pistons. Now, I can get behind that any day of the week, and I'll tell you that. Cade Cunningham, Derek White, second place with 7% of the voters. Very close, very close. But Cade Cunningham completely deserves that award. He took this Pistons team from 14 wins last year. He didn't take them to 14 wins, but he took them from having a 14-win season to tripling that and getting 30 more wins from 14 to 44 wins in a year. Absolutely amazing. Cade Cunningham has completely turned the Pistons organization around, completely turned around the mentality that was going around in the Pistons, the organization. And he's a reason a lot of players want to come to Detroit because, he leads the team so well. He's a leader, even for a guy so young, drafted only 4 years ago. But, Cade Cunningham, most underrated player, completely deserved. First time All-Star this year, playing like an All-Pro player, like a first-team All-Pro NBA player. He's phenomenal. He completely deserves that recognition, and I'm happy that people are finally starting to recognize that, Cade Cunningham is that guy. A few more quick ones I want to talk about. Best organization in the NBA, the Golden State Warriors. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. They've been the best organization for so long. It's just, they even when they think they're just out of the run, they make a trade. The Jimmy Butler trade completely flipped the organization around for the year, and obviously they got the Kevin Durant trade a while ago. This organization has just done so much, so well, consistently, and they're just that good. The worst organization is Charlotte Hornets. That's a no-brainer. Charlotte really doesn't. I think the Wizards in second. I think, honestly, the Brooklyn Nets should be higher on that list. Yeah, I completely agree with the Charlotte being last, but I think Brooklyn's a lot worse of an organization than some of the other teams. But Charlotte's got no future. They really don't. They really just not have. They don't really have a good future in Charlotte. It really is nothing to look forward to over there. So I completely agree with Charlotte being that spot, the top of the worst organizations in basketball according to the player poll. That's all I got for this segment. Next segment, we're ending it off. NFL mock draft, top 6 picks. We'll talk about that. We'll get to that after the break. Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jamber. First 4 segments, we talked about all basketball, recapped the games from last night, previewed the games for the night, and talked about the NBA player poll that just came out, the anonymous player poll. This final segment, we're talking about the NFL. We're going to create a quick little mock draft. Only a few players, only the top few players. So, yeah, we'll get into that right now. Just get into it. So, obviously, the NFL draft is coming up. It's very close. It's right around the corner. It starts on Thursday. Green Bay, Wisconsin. And there's a lot of players in this draft who could go first overall, second overall, third overall, all that. But I believe, I've got to figure it out. I know who's getting drafted. No, I don't. But, this draft is just so weird because a lot of the teams in the top 5, top 10 need players at multiple positions. So I think a lot of these teams are just going to take the best player available at the time. Besides the first overall pick, Tennessee Titans, they are taking Cam Ward. The Tennessee Titans will be taking Cam Ward at the first overall pick. There's just no way they don't. They have liked him way too much the past season. They followed him. They were there. They were with Cam Ward the entire year along his time with Miami. He's been, talking positive about them forever. There's definitely going something on that he's already they already told him we're gonna draft him, but they just can't announce that yet. So I do think Cam Ward goes number 1 overall just because how good he's been talking on the Tennessee Titans. And that Fortnite clip a few days ago, I've said it already a few times, but he was playing Fortnite with some people, and this chat asked him who are the best running backs in the league. He said Tony Pollard and Tajon Spears. If you don't know, those are the 2 running backs of Tennessee Titans. So that's I feel like that's kind of a good sign. So I do think Cam Ward goes number 1 overall. Number 2, the Cleveland Browns. I do think that the second overall pick, the Cleveland Browns will select Travis Hunter. There was a possibility they take Abdul Carter, but I just don't think they pass on the generational talent in Travis Hunter. You can't pass up on a two-way player, especially when the Browns are in need of a guy who can play, in need of both a receiver and a cornerback. Their defense is pretty strong. Adding Travis Hunter is always can be a huge upside for them. And plus the receiving core, you got Jerry Jeudy. But, other than that, they really don't have much. They traded Amari Cooper last year for, just some draft picks. They got, a 6th-round pick out of him. But, he would fit that. He wants to be. He would fit that well. He wants to play both ways. And if the Browns are willing, they'll play in both ways. And he said he won't play if he's not going to be playing both ways. So I think the Browns will let that happen. And I think he'd just be a great fit for that team. And I just see him going number 2. Number 3, you got the New York Giants. And I do think the New York Giants take Abdul Carter out of Penn State at number 3. Him and Kayvon Thibodeau and the Giants D-line and Dexter Lawrence would be a crazy 3-man D-line. Sexy Dexy at the center or the deep nose guard, defensive guard, and then you got on the outside the DNs. You got Abdul times Kayvon. That's a great combination that I would not want to line up against. That is very, very fast, very physical D-line right there, and that's a D-line I wouldn't want to run into. I'll tell you that. That is a very fast and young D-line, and that could definitely help New York's defensive trouble. I do think New York's biggest struggle is defense. Their offense isn't nearly as good as their they're both pretty bad, I would say. They're not the best, but their offense has shines of light. They got Malik Neighbors. They just signed Russell Wilson. That's a huge help for them. They can always trade up as well. There's going to be players in the draft that will fall. Quarterbacks are going to fall. And if they really want to draft a quarterback too, if they need one, and a receiver, there's going to be a million options available. So it's just a matter of, who's going to go. They're going to take Abdul Carter 3, but if they want to trade up for another quarterback, for a new younger one coming out of college now, they might trade up for that as well. At number 4, the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are going to go for a receiver. I think I say that. Actually, I don't think I know I say that because their defense. Their defense is actually very good. If you watch the Patriots defense, they don't win a lot of games, but that's not because their defense is bad. It's because their offense isn't that good. Their defense holds teams to 17 points or less a game. Most of the time, they have a very good defense. Their defense is very settled. I mean, they're one of the, if you look on fantasy, they are statistically a top 5 finisher in defense every year because they get points, because they get a lot of, stoppages of balls, not a lot of touchdowns, interceptions, fumbles, all that. They're a good defense. So even though they just signed Stephon Diggs, I think he's getting to the age where he's getting pretty old. Not, but for like an NFL player, he's getting there. And the reason I don't think they take a running back is because Ramondre Stevenson just signed him to a contract, and he's a good running back. And they don't really need a backup for him. So they can they got a lot of options at receiver. McMillan out of Arizona, Golden out of Texas, Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State, Emeka Igupa, I can't say, the kid out of Ohio State. I can't say his name, but I've always butchered his name, so I feel bad about that. But they have a lot of options, but I think they take McMillan out of Arizona. He is the best receiver in college football. He had the Triple Crown. He was really good. He played in the weaker conference, and who cares? He was a great overall player, and he deserves to be there at number 4. At number 5, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think with their 5th overall pick, I do think they take Mason Graham out of Michigan. They have a lot to work on over there in Jacksonville, but they have more work to do on the defensive side. So I do think that pairing Mason Graham with I forgot the name. The kid they drafted a few years ago, above Hutchinson, out of Alabama or Georgia. I just think he'd fit that program very well. Mason Graham is a great defensive tackle for Michigan. He's been good all year. He was a little hurt, he had a little injury problems, but he was a huge help to, even though the record didn't show, he was a big player throughout the season, getting a lot of, if they're running up the middle, yeah, you're not getting by Mason Graham. He's a big guy. He's 6'4", 290, and he's pretty, for his size and weight, he's a fast kid. And, he's a great pick. I think he'd fit Jacksonville well because, like I said, Jacksonville doesn't need a lot of offense. They have some receivers. Trevor Lawrence has some work to do. But overall, I think the defense needs the most help. I think Mason Graham is the guy to help them, improve their defensive side of the ball. Number 6, Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said the Oakland Raiders. Almost. I believe they take Ashton Jeanty at their 6th pick. They've been practicing with them. They've been bringing him to lunches, dinners, all these pre-draft workouts. They love Jeanty, and I think Pete Carroll loves Jeanty. So I think they do take him at the 6th overall pick. There's just been too much going on over there with those two, with that organization and Jeanty, that they just don't. He's the best running back in the draft, and I think they'd be it'd just be, I'm not going to say idiotic, but I just think it'd be insane if they didn't pick him up. He would help that team so much. They need a running back, and they just got Geno Smith, and he'd be a huge help in the backfield because how good of a pass blocker he is for running back. So I think he would help out that, pass block game a lot, and he'd be a great fit in Las Vegas for the Raiders. That's all I got for today. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. Your continuous support means the world, so feel free to like, comment, and share with your friends. If you want to stay up to date with all things GSMC, make sure to follow us on social media. Do that: Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter /X, any social media, we're on it. So make sure to search up just GSMC, and we'll be on there. Follow us for news updates. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all very soon. See ya.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.